His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Thani, Your Excellency Ahmad bin Abdullah bin Saeed Al Mahmoud, Speaker of the Shura Council of the State of Qatar, Dr. Fadli Son, Chair of the Global Organization of Parliamentarians Against Corruption, distinguished speakers of Parliament, honorable members of Parliament, dear delegates. It is an honor to stand before you today, but that honor is also tinged by sadness when we have to come together once again to talk about corruption, which continues to haunt our societies and obstruct progress towards human happiness and well-being. I would like to say that I am very proud also of being here because I am a member of Gopac. I started as member of Gopac in 2012, and I believe in this crusade. I believe on the huge responsibility that we have as parliamentarians to change this planet for good and to end corruption forever. It is to the great credit of this group that you're standing up and saying that as parliamentarians, we have a central responsibility in addressing corruption. Corruption obstructs our children from getting the education that they need, makes it harder for the sick and elderly to access essential health and services, and places barriers in the way of ordinary citizens as they seek to exercise their human rights. We cannot accept this. We must push back. We have to say and to speak up that corruption is unacceptable and find the practical and legal solutions to eradicate corruption in all its forms at all levels. Gopac members know this better than anybody, and you know both the challenge that it represents and the possible way in which we can address this problem. By coming together today in Doha, you will take another step forward on this difficult path. I would like to acknowledge the leadership role of Qatar in hosting this conference, and in particular, the role of His Excellency the Emir and the Speaker of the Shura Council. When Qatar hosted the 140th IPU Assembly in April this year, it was for me the opportunity to deepen my knowledge and appreciation of this wonderful country, which is putting so much energy and resources into facilitating international cooperation on so many subjects, and of course, taking the lead to fight corruption. I have two main messages that I want to bring to this conference today. I want to assure you that the IPU stands firmly at your sides in the fight against corruption. And I want also to echo the theme of the conference, in which I wholeheartedly believe integrity matters, truly. It matters in terms of values and principles. It matters in terms of rules and institutions. It matters in terms of ethics and practice. Integrity is about who we are. It is about our name. Is it about the kind of politics and parliaments that we need to exercise? Integrity is also about our dreams, about the kind of world that we want to leave to the future generations. I am very worried about the decline of public trust in government and parliament around the world. Yes, we are always talking and questioning ourselves about what's going on, why we are having all these protests and challenges and questions from the citizens. And it is a matter of public confidence. The integrity of our public institutions and the integrity of our office holders is a vital key to public trust. It is something that we have to demonstrate proudly in our personal behavior and in the rules that govern our institutions. We are always, and especially at the IPU, always talking about the Sustainable Development Goals. We are addressing SDGs as the most important roadmap to change this planet in only 10 years. We usually believe like, yeah, okay, in 2030, yes, we're going to do something. But we have only 10 years to change this planet. And in order to achieve these sustainable development goals, we also need to change politics. We need to change the institutions. When we talk about SDG 16, which is about precisely governance, about institutions, about how we are going to give a better way to govern the planet, the regions, the countries, of course, in order to have a good result on this SDG 16, we need to rebuild public confidence, public trust. And this target 16, more precise 16.5, recognizes that corruption hinders progress on all the SDGs. That's why we need effective institutions. That's why we need more inclusive process of decision making. We need to accelerate progress towards the goals. It is as simple as that, and that's our duty, the nature of our responsibility. We still need more champions in Parliament, people who are able to make the connections between why fighting corruption matters for reducing poverty, why effective institutions matter for improving access to health services and leaving no one behind. This group is well placed to take a leadership role, and I would like to hear your stories so that we at the IPU can share and amplify your efforts. Sometimes we believe that there's a long way to fight corruption, but allow me to say that I believe in political will. I believe in the power of leadership. I believe in the power of parliaments and parliamentarians. I believe that if 46,000 parliamentarians all around the planet are decided and fully committed to end corruption forever, we can do that. We have organizations as Gopac with full experience, knowledge, and capacity to share. But we also need a clear commitment to make this a reality. Yes, we are demanding always a more active society, but the way to achieve that is precisely on trust and confidence. At the IPU, yes, we are going to continue working on SDGs. We are going to continue giving information, awareness, and asking the parliaments to get involved, because we believe that through legislation, budget allocation, oversight, that's the best way to make these SDGs a reality. When we go, for example, to United Nations, many of you have been there, and we see the importance, the relevance of these international agreements, how these international agreements are going to be a solution for the people that we represent. And that is where parliaments and parliamentarians are the most important bridge to translate these international commitments into local realities. It is our responsibility to study and ratify almost all international agreements. It is our duty to translate them into national law. It is our duty to allocate enough budget for those priorities, and it is also our parliamentarians' responsibility to hold the government to account in terms to see how is the implementation process going. Yes, there's a lot to do in our hands in terms of development, in terms of inclusion, and in terms of ending corruption. Going back to the program of work for this conference, I would like to mention especially one session dedicated to our own integrity, taking ownership, welcoming accountability. Again, as Fadli mentioned, we are going to talk about integrity, but we need also to talk about innovation. Sometimes when we are talking about accountability, when we are talking about openness and transparency, for many people it is enough to say that the information is published into a website. Yes, that's a very good step, but that's a passive transparency. We need to take the step to the future. We need to set new rules, new programs, to innovate and to go directly to an active accountability, to use the new tools that technology and communications are giving to us to give more explanations, to be more and more transparent, to explain to the people why politics are important and why parliaments matter. I believe that if we can go into that direction, yes, we are going to fulfill people's expectations, but also we are going to make more inclusive politics, and that's the way to regain public trust. Governance today demands more active parliamentarians and faster answers to the challenges that citizens face. It is our mandate to translate international commitments into national and local realities, while at the same time shaping our local realities so that international commitments can be met and the quality of life can be improved for all citizens. I would like to ask you for one challenge. Let's be the generation that ends corruption forever. Let's be the group of parliamentarians that writes a new chapter in politics all around the planet. Let's take the lead. Let's show that political will is enough to make a great society, a great planet, a more egalitarian society. Mr. Speaker, distinguished delegates, my dear friend Fadli Son, is it that momentous task that we take up today with humility, but also with the conviction that together we can achieve the change this planet urgently needs? Thank you very much.